The epic battle between Luffy and Cracker comes to an epic conclusion that will leave you full and satisfied, because Luffy decides to unleash the power of Gear 4th, and he uses a brand new technique which is known as the Tankman full version, where it quite literally transforms Luffy into a massive armored sumo wrestler, and he uses an attack against Cracker which is so powerful it sends him flying across the entire Whole Cake Island for 2 minutes straight. You gotta love the absolute absurdity of One Piece, and in this week's episode, it was certainly kicked up to 11. This was a very entertaining episode with some great production value, and I definitely think it's gonna go down as one of the classics, despite the fact that really not that much happened. I mean, Luffy defeated Cracker, there's a small scene with Chopper and Carrot running away from Brûlé in the Mirror World, and Sanji and his family are heading to the Whole Cake Chateau, which has now just been plastered with the side of Cracker's face. That's basically it, but it was all pretty satisfying in the way that it was handled, especially the whole sequence where Luffy unleashed his Gear 4th ability, which still manages to be very funny looking, but also very, very intimidating. And the actual attack he uses on Cracker is surprisingly inventive, where Cracker constantly tries to stab him, but he can't actually get through his armament hockey, and then suddenly his fist starts to get sucked into his stomach, and Luffy basically has his entire body within himself. He starts to compress it down, and then he shoots him out like a cannon, and then you just get to watch him fly across the kingdom for 2 minutes, slamming into the trees, going through buildings, and then eventually making it right into Big Mom's castle, where conveniently and hilariously enough, she happens to be talking about her son. Then everybody just starts freaking out. They realize that Luffy is nearby, and this is not good for Luffy because they're also going to be looking for Sanji, so they immediately go on the chase, thanks to the fact that they still have that Vivre card, which has all of Big Mom's power in it. Basically what this means is that every single being within the Seducing Woods, the homies, have to listen to Luffy and Nami. So they're making their way to the Whole Cake Chateau, where Sanji is also going to be headed reluctantly, despite the fact that there's a lot of fanfare around him getting ready to go and meet his future wife. And then there's Carrot and Chopper, who are running away from Brûlé. And the reason I like this scene a lot is, one, because Carrot is just so freaking adorable, but it looks like they finally found a mirror which is going to lead to where Germa 66 is, and they can actually see that Sanji is getting ready to leave. And I love this scene because of just how cartoony it is, especially how freaked out Carrot and Chopper look with their gigantic, ridiculous, Looney Tune looking eyes. That, and they add a lot of humor with the fact that Brûlé herself is actually scary as crap. The way that she constantly just sort of appears from out of nowhere and is right next to Chopper is genuinely frightening, and I can't wait to see more of their adventures in the future. So what's the rundown on this week's episode of One Piece? Luffy vs. Cracker had a pretty ridiculous conclusion. When I read it in the manga version, it was crazy, and it managed to be even more nuttier here in the anime version. Especially with just how long they actually show Cracker actually flying across the kingdom with like nothing stopping him at all. There are so many ridiculous scenes that you just can't help but want to laugh at, with him like going through the trees and slamming into these giant mountains with faces. It's hilarious, and you also feel bad for all of the homies who are getting completely destroyed, not to mention all of the collateral damage that's going to be caused with him actually going through the city and destroying all these buildings and taking out all of these random citizens. And then just slamming right into Big Mom's castle right as she's talking about him. It's just, it's comedy gold right here. And, you know, the Tankman ability was just insane and hilarious. It literally is a tank. It's got like really high defense. Nothing can go through it. And if you get close enough, he'll actually start sucking you into his body. So those are some pretty unique techniques for Luffy to actually use, and I can't wait to see more of the creativity from that in the future. And it is worth noting that everything during the scene looked really freaking stellar, animation and artwork wise, and that's definitely a reason to like this week's episode. But all of this action was also supplemented by Carrot and Chopper running away from Brûlé and revealing that they're starting to learn a little bit more about the Mirror World and where things are located. And then you had Sanji, who's getting ready to leave with his family. Again, he is not happy about all of this. He's reluctantly having to go along with it. And the preview for the next episode will definitely sort of give away what the next plot point is going to be. But then again, this whole thing has been spoiled for a long time, if not for the manga version or for the fact that they've been building up that a 1-hour special is going to be coming. And basically, it's Luffy versus Sanji. So who's going to win? Place your bets in the comments section below. Most importantly, make sure to tell me what you thought about this week's episode of One Piece. For me personally, as a score, I'm going to give this one a 4 out of 5. I thought it was really high quality, but at the end of the day, really not that much transpired. I mean, sure, we got to learn a little bit more about Prometheus and Zeus, the super elemental powers of Big Mom, but really it's just more teasing. The biggest thing about this episode is definitely Luffy defeating Cracker. It's equally awesome and equally hilarious. So check it out. But like I said, tell me all your thoughts about this week's episode in the comment section below, and make sure to subscribe to my channel for all things One Piece related, whether that be the anime or the manga version. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. I'll see you guys next time. And as always, stay dandy, baby.